Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight in today.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're looking at the biggest AI news from May 19th to the 25th, 2025.
All covered in the latest 1 week of AI from University 365.
Exactly. Think of this as your quick guide to, well, what really mattered in AI that week.
And we've got the OwO AI publication right here. That's 1 week of AI put together by Professor Martin Swartz at University 365.
It's a great summary.
It really is. And it was quite a week. Transformative, you could say.
So our plan is simple. Pull out the key stuff, figure out what it means, and just give you a clear picture of how things are moving so fast in AI.
Sounds good.
What was the big theme, the sort of main story from that week?
I think the big takeaway was just how fast AI is getting woven into, well, everything. Tech, business, you name it.
Okay.
We saw some really interesting steps in, like multimodal creativity, AI handling text, images, video together. And also some pretty intriguing findings about AI and emotional intelligence.
AI emotional intelligence. That sounds significant.
It is. We'll get into that. But yeah, the OwO AI pub really highlights the key events driving this acceleration.
Like what? What were the main headlines?
Well, huge announcements from Google I/O, Microsoft Build, of course. Then there was OpenAI's Codex making strides,
Right.
and this massive UAE-US partnership for AI infrastructure, plus a bunch more. It was definitely a packed week.
Okay, let's get into it. Starting with Google I/O 2025, what were the major takeaways there?
Probably the biggest splash was rolling out AI mode in Google Search across the US.
AI mode. Ugh.
Yeah. And it's a real shift, you know? Instead of
Yeah.
just getting links, it's more like having a conversation with an AI research assistant.
How so?
Well, imagine asking it something complex. It can actually go visit web pages, pull out the key info, summarize it for you,
Yeah.
and even help you make decisions, like if you're shopping for something specific.
That sounds very different from just typing keywords. Can you give an example, like a practical one?
Sure, let's say you want an eco-friendly coffee maker, really good one. Instead of you digging through tons of reviews and product pages, you could just ask Google. The AI mode could, check those pages, compare features based on what eco-friendly means, summarize reviews.
And just give you the answer.
Pretty much. Or at least a really concise comparison, like a personalized brief. Saves a ton of time.
That does sound useful. Very efficient. And Google also updated their Gemini models, right?
It did, yeah. Gemini 2.5 Pro is apparently leading in things like web development understanding.
Okay.
And they previewed Gemini 2.5 Flash, which is all about speed, faster coding help, quicker reasoning.
Faster is usually better.
Right. And they've integrated their LearnLM, their educational AI, into Gemini 2.5 as well. It even has this deep think mode for really tricky problems.
Deep think.
Yeah. So it positions Gemini as like a top-tier tool for learning complex stuff or solving hard problems. If you're learning code or stuck on something analytical.
Gemini could give you faster, maybe deeper help.
Exactly. That seems to be the goal, making these powerful tools more practical for, complex tasks.
Okay, interesting. Let's pivot to Microsoft Build 2025 then. Their strategy seemed a bit different, more about partnerships.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, they announced this multimodal AI strategy. Quite interesting.
Multimodal, what does that mean in practice?
It means they're teaming up with various AI players, xAI, Meta, Mistral, this company Black Forest Labs.
Okay.
And the idea is to offer developers using Azure a wider choice of AI models. Not just OpenAI's, but others too, all supposedly with the same reliability.
So more options within their cloud platform.
Exactly. Flexibility, right, depending on what you need the AI to do.
So give me an example. If I'm a developer on Azure.
Okay, maybe you need an AI that's really good at creative writing for marketing copy. You might pick Meta's model, maybe. But if you need something super strong on logical reasoning for, say, debugging code, you might choose a different partner's model, all within Azure.
Like a specialized AI toolkit.
Precisely. Tailored options.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk OpenAI. They're always making news. What was the Codex update about?
Right, Codex. They're calling it an autonomous AI software engineer.
Autonomous. That sounds
ambitious.
It is. It's way beyond just suggesting code snippets. This thing, powered by their Codex 1 model, can apparently write whole features, find and fix bugs, run tests, even submit pull requests.
Yeah.
All on its own, but in, secure, controlled environments.
An AI doing actual software engineering tasks. Are companies using this?
Yeah, they mentioned early adopters like Cisco and Temporal are trying it out. Obviously, it runs in isolated cloud setups for security. But yeah, the potential to automate chunks of development is definitely there.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
And they also upgraded their operator agent. It uses a new model, O3, for better reasoning, making it better at browsing the web or using software autonomously.
Okay, lots happening at OpenAI. What about Anthropic?
Claude.
Anthropic had news too. They showed off Claude Opus 4.
Opus 4.
Yeah, engineered for really long autonomous coding jobs. They did this demo coding nonstop for almost 7 hours for a client.
7 hours.
Yeah.
Continuous coding.
Yep. A big step up in AI stamina, I guess you could say.
Terrifying.
And they also launched Claude Sonnet 4, which is a more cost-effective option. So choices there too.
Right. Endurance and options. Okay, let's shift to infrastructure. This UAE-US partnership sounds enormous.
Oh, it's huge. A $200 billion investment.
$200 billion.
Yeah. For a dedicated AI campus in Abu Dhabi, we're talking a 5-gigawatt data center facility, massive scale, like 10 square miles.
Wow. What's the goal? Just more computing power.
It's more than that. It's about building specialized infrastructure for AI, potentially serving a big chunk of the world population in that region. And it signals the, strategic global importance of AI. It's got security protocols, focus on U.S. hyperscalers. It's a major geopolitical move, too.
A sign of how critical AI infrastructure is becoming globally.
Definitely. And speaking of infrastructure, Oracle made a big move, too, right? Aimed at OpenAI.
Yeah, Oracle's investing $40 billion in NVIDIA chips.
$40 billion.
To build a new data center in Texas, specifically for OpenAI's needs.
Which is interesting because it could make OpenAI less dependent on Microsoft Azure, maybe.
That seems to be the implication. More competition in the cloud space for AI workloads.
Right.
Diversification.
Right. Competition heating up even at the foundational level.
And NVIDIA themselves, they were at Taiwan Computex, still dominating the hardware scene.
It seems so. Jensen Huang announced NVLink Fusion technology.
Fusion, what's that?
It lets companies plug their own custom CPUs or AI chips directly into NVIDIA's platform. Could make NVIDIA even more central,
So, strengthening their grip, even as others try to compete.
Seems like it. And there was also news about some AI chip export restrictions to China being suspended, which could open up a huge market for them.
Always innovating. Okay, let's switch gears to regulation. Europe and Meta AI. That sounded important.
Very. The Irish Data Protection Commission, the DPC, basically gave Meta the green light.
Green light for what?
To use public Facebook and Instagram data from EU users to train their large language models, their LLMs.
Using public user data. That's always sensitive.
Extremely. But the approval came with strings attached. Big ones. Meta had to put in strong safeguards. More transparency, easy ways for users to object, better data de-identification, all to comply with GDPR.
So, a framework for balancing AI training needs with privacy rights in the EU.
Exactly. It's a potentially important precedent for how this gets handled moving forward.
Okay. Now, the OwO AI pub also mentioned a shift in AI investment strategies. Something about traditional businesses.
Yeah, this was interesting. Some VCs are apparently looking at buying established businesses like call centers or accounting firms.
Buying them? Why?
To basically inject AI into them, optimize their operations, make them more efficient.
So use AI to improve an existing business with customers already.
Right. It's kind of a private equity play, but using AI as the value add. It gives the AI tech immediate customers and data, and the traditional business gets an upgrade.
A strategic blend of old and new business models. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a clever approach.
Google also made Notebook LM Mobile, right? Their research tool.
They did. Launched an Android app with iOS coming.
What's the significance there?
Just makes that AI research assistant much more accessible. You can use it on the go. It even has offline support. Good for students, researchers, anyone doing knowledge work.
Putting AI tools in more pockets.
Okay.
The publication also listed top AI growth areas for 2025. What stood out?
Yeah, the list included things like agentic AI.
Meaning AI that can act autonomously.
Right. Also foundational models, the big LLMs we keep talking about, MLOs platforms for managing AI development, and responsible AI solutions. That last one shows the growing focus on ethics and making sure AI is deployed safely and fairly.
So moving towards more practical, scalable, and importantly, ethical AI.
That seems to be the trend.
Microsoft had another interesting AI, didn't they? Aurora, for weather.
Yeah, Aurora AI, it's their advanced weather prediction model.
Better than current methods.
Apparently, yes. More accurate and faster for things like air quality, hurricane tracking. It's trained on a massive data set. And they open source the code. which is great for the scientific community.
Better weather forecasts have huge real-world benefits. Safety, planning.
For sure. And speaking of other big players, ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, released something called Bagel.
Bagel, like the food.
Spelled the same, Bagel. It's an open source multimodal model.
Multimodal again. Images, text.
Exactly. It handles image generation, editing, and understanding all in one model. Apparently performs well, and being open source on places like Hugging Face means lots of people can use it.
An open source model like that from ByteDance could really push creative AI tools forward.
Could do, yeah.
And there was also MTV Crafter, AI for animation.
Right, MTV Crafter. It's an open source tool for animating static characters using motion from videos.
How does it work?
It uses this technique called 4D motion tokenization, basically understanding movement over time to animate drawings or 3D figures. It might not be Pixar level, but being open source.
Makes animation tech more accessible for indie devs or creators.
Exactly. Good for experimenting and learning.
Okay, now this one really grabbed me. AI surpassing humans in emotional intelligence. Seriously.
Well, that's what a recent study suggested. Generative AI models apparently scored significantly higher than humans on standard EI tests.
Higher? How?
They were better at picking the right emotional responses in context. They even created new EI tests that experts couldn't distinguish from human-made ones.
Wow. What are the implications if AI is getting better at understanding emotions?
It's huge. Think about coaching, therapy. AI could potentially offer scalable support, always with human oversight, of course. Or education, like Google's Learn LM trying to be more empathetic. It's definitely something to watch and think about.
Truly fascinating.
Yeah.
And potentially a bit unnerving.
Perhaps. It raises a lot of questions.
Okay, staying with Google briefly, MedGemma, AI for healthcare.
Right, MedGemma. A suite of AI models based on their Gemma 3 architecture, but tailored for healthcare.
What can it do?
Things like analyzing medical images, x-rays, CT scans, and also text models for clinical decision support. The aim is making medical AI more accessible, even in places with fewer resources.
Democratizing medical AI. That
Yeah.
could be huge for global health.
Absolutely.
And Alibaba had something called UniVGR1 for visual reasoning.
Yeah, they made big gains on visual reasoning benchmarks,
Oh.
using techniques like chain of thought fine-tuning. Basically, teaching the AI to break down complex visual problems into steps like humans do could be useful for things like quality control in factories.
AI learning to think more logically about what it sees.
Yeah.
Impressive. Okay, so we covered the big ones, but the OwO AI publication also mentioned a few other things from Google I/O and Microsoft Build.
Just briefly, yeah. Google had VO3 for better AI video generation, though maybe still some limits there. And Android XR glasses using Gemini for translation and navigation. Microsoft had more on GitHub Copilot agents becoming more autonomous, and also some kind of battery tech breakthrough. Lots of smaller, but still interesting bits and pieces.
It really feels like it was just an incredibly dense week for AI news.
Absolutely. Overflowing. The 1 week of AI publication really did capture a moment where AI went from potential to, well, very practical reality across the board.
So if you found this breakdown useful and want this kind of insight every week,
You should definitely subscribe to the 1 week of AI, OwO AI publication from University 365.
yeah, it's a great way to stay on top of things.
And for even more deep dives like this one and other resources, consider becoming a member of University 365.
Membership gets you access to publications and shows like this one, which is part of our Discussions to Learn, or D2L series.
Right. And don't forget UCopilot, the University 365 AI assistant. You can use it to explore these topics more, check your understanding.
Anyway.
It's clear things are moving incredibly fast. The AI revolution isn't just happening, it's really accelerating.
So stay curious, keep learning.
And really think about how all these changes are going to shape, well, everything.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you next time for another look at the tech world.